Bam, we're live. Bam, we're live. Hey, good morning. Hola, amigos. Hola, hola, hola. Oh, new member. Good. How's the video? How were the Kale Lehman sightings in the Mayhem Classic? Was that fun? The boys were saying it was like watching a ghost. Did you guys see a ghost? Ghost. Stephen Flores, what's up, dude? Good to see you. Good kill Taylor yesterday. Games tickets were not given away. Oh, see my boobs. You're back. Good to see you. God, that picture is crazy. Marco, good morning. Barry, hello. Lori, 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 Lori. I don't ever remember if I've ever seen you. Good morning, Mr. Birchfield, Professor Birchfield. Wildland Fest is really entertaining. It's crazy what's happening there, right? I was listening to some of the chatter this morning regarding Wildland Fest. Uh, that means you like the stream, I'm guessing, if you're saying it's entertaining. The leaderboard there is crazy, right? Competition corner. The big takeaway that just from listening to the chatter is that none of the workouts have been over 10 minutes long. And honestly, I don't know if that would have affected the final the final leaderboard, but with one event left that starts in 30 minutes, Roman's in first by 60 points. Then Moritz Fiebig is in second, then Yonikoski. Only two can go, and the final event is Heavy Isabel, right? So it looks like it's Moritz and Roman. I don't know for certain, but I don't even know how the points work. I don't know how many people would need to get in between Moritz and Yonikoski. But it doesn't seem that's a lot of points, 30 points, and I'm guessing Moritz is gonna do Isabel faster than Yonikoski. And so looks like those two will go. Anyola Kai, unfortunately, is all the way down in sixth. I would love to see him at the games. And then with the females, you have Lucy Campbell, and then it looks like Sung Young Choi is going to be going to the CrossFit Games. Unless Andra Moistis can close that 16-point gap. Is that what that is? 16 points? Yeah. Which I guess she could. If it's five points a place, that would be 3 or 4 places. But Elisa Fuliano didn't do the Open, so she's not going to the games. I wonder how much she regrets that now. Lucy Campbell's winning the games. Oh, it was happy birthday, Audrey. It was Audrey's birthday yesterday. Happy birthday. Happy 26th. 26th? How old are you? 31st? 31st? What are you, 31? 26? 21? Mr. Spin, Andra Moistis said Isabel won't be good for her. But will it be good for Sung Young Choi? I don't think of the Asian athletes as strong. I mean, just like 37. Holy shit. Just generally speaking, just in my head. You know what I mean? Just stereotyping them, pigeonholing them. Everything except discriminating against them because I think they can get strong. I just put them in a bucket of not strong athletes. Not in general because they're Asian, but just the ones that we see who go to the CrossFit Games. The Choi won the clean complex, so likely. Wow. Okay. Strong Asian in house. Craig Paisley. Time to change my my buckets. Good morning, Dan. Oh no, Sevon. Oh no, Sevon. Oh, I get it. Oh no, Sevon covering CrossFit on his own. Oh no. So that happens in 28 minutes. That should be a quick workout. Have they made cuts or do all these athletes go? My God. If it starts at 7:35, that means that it won't be going. Oh, look at this. Wunger is out. These are look at all these DNFs. Damn, there's some shitty athletes there. I guess that's what happens when you let in so many. That would happen anywhere. Let me see if the dudes have DNFs like that. Oh yeah, the dudes got it too. Well, that's exciting. Supposedly, like I was saying, none of the workouts, none of the elite guys took more than 10 minutes to do the workouts. I was chatting with the boys, and they were saying that I was like, "Well, what are the implications of that?" And someone was saying if there was a workout or two that was over 10 minutes, more eats probably wouldn't have gone. So I guess programming does matter. Vunger, Wilkinson, and Vreova were all sick. They got the vid. They got the COVID. Mr. Steve, do you know anything about volunteering on the event team for the games? Dave said it was going to be open on April 22nd. Haven't seen anything on the website. Ask him in his weekend review. Do you do that today? Because his weekend review is for tomorrow. I haven't heard of anything. The great cold of 2020. Oana, Devito. You look European, but you have a European first name and a South American last name, a Latin last name? No, maybe it's all European. Is DeVito Italian? Oana? You have a Hawaiian first name, Italian last name? I'm not doing it alone. Dan, look at the spins here with me, helping me, feeding me all the good intel, the good one-liners. Ladies and gentlemen, it's very unlikely that Anyola Kai or Yonikoski qualify for the games now. Get with the programming. Maybe the longest running podcast in the CrossFit space. I don't know if that's true, but I think it is. I put my good money would say that. Phew. Phew. Glad to hear programming matters for a second there. We thought we wasted 5 years of our podcast. Speaking of get with the programming, man, that boy, Bill Grunler, he's something else. I think Bill and I are the exact same age. I'm 53. I'm sure he's over 50. I was thinking about doing the Kill Taylor workout yesterday with a 40-pound D-ball and pull-ups. I would do muscle ups, but I don't. My shoulder, something is suspect these days. I need to wait a couple months. But check this out. Bill gave it a shot. Bill Grunler. I'm going to guess he's 52. Damn, I ain't no Kill Taylor. Was stoked to watch the Sevon podcast and the Kill Taylor show before coaching this morning. This workout was 10 rounds for 3 reps, 100-pound sandbag, over a 7-foot bar, 3 ring muscle ups. I knew I couldn't go that fast, but I wanted to do it. Not bummed about the 10-minute time cap. I got 7 rounds. What a savage. I was pissed, but it was fun. I don't like to get crushed. I got crushed. I was nowhere near Taylor himself. Taylor's 20 years younger than him. Not even close, but damn, it was fun. I get asked all the time about training or working out as you get older, like when do the PR stop kind of question. I hate that answer. I hate that question because it gives people a choice to just give up. I hate that answer. I like the magic sauce. The fountain of youth is not. I think the magic sauce, the fountain of youth, is to not give in to being old. This doesn't mean you shouldn't act like you're 18, but it's not being afraid to go for it. Sure, relatively hard for the person, but please don't give up on yourself. Don't give yourself excuses to not push, excuses to not work your hardest, or excuses that make it okay to accept mediocrity. Mediocrity. If you lower the bar and the standard for yourself, then you lower your quality of life. Yeah, I know it sounds harsh, but it's true. I'm not training for anything specific right now, not a goal I'm driving towards, but this doesn't mean that I shouldn't wring as much out of it as I can out of every workout I do. Some days will be better than others. Some days will be just checking the box, but I'll give you what I have so that I can get whatever I can get out of it. It works. Iron still sharpens iron, even if it's old and a little beat up. I have a couple spots available for the remote coaching. If you are looking to maximize your potential, no matter your age, hit me up. One of the probably one of the fittest dudes in the world still. He looks lean. Bill looks good. He's got getting his summer body ready. CrossFit Inferno. Not only probably one of the, fittest dudes still in the world, but probably, you could put him if there was, like, a Time Magazine 100 best coaches or 100 best gyms in the world, you'd probably have to give Inferno a look. That place has been there forever and successful. I've told this story before. I thought about telling it yesterday again when Bill was on, when we did the update show, or was it Friday night? But for those of you who don't know, even before I found CrossFit, I had heard of Bill. Bill found CrossFit before I did. I wanna say maybe he found it in 2004, and, uh, he's in a small town. He's in a small town. I guess a way to think of it is he's in a small town that's basically between, Los Angeles and, San Francisco. It's basically no man's land in California, all up and down the coast there, although it is building out fast. And there's a town there, called San Luis Obispo, and then there's another beach town called Pismo. And I think that, I think Inferno's in I don't know where Inferno is, I forget. I think it's in San Luis Obispo. College town, crazy nice, stupid nice beaches, beautiful people. And, Bill I knew of Bill even before I knew of CrossFit. There were stories of this fire captain somewhere in California, and I knew of him, who made his firefighters do the craziest fucking workouts. I mean, crazy. Everyone knew who he was, who was involved in fitness, in California. It was like the shit that it was this the stories back then, the stories you would hear that he would put people through either sounded dangerous or just absolute bullshit lies. And, he did a lot of stair running, a lot of, made the firefighters work out fully clothed and equipped with tanks and masks, and he truly is a legend. And what's crazy is even with the advent of CrossFit taking over, it probably still back then, he's not a firefighter anymore, but that was probably the fittest firehouse in the world, for sure in the United States. Everyone knew everyone who knew would hear whispers of it. I remember the first time I think either the first or second time I met him, I wanna say I ran into him at a wedding once, and it was a big wedding. There were like 500 people there, and everyone knew who he was. Magnus, what's up? Good morning, dude. Sevon, have you been to Cannon Beach, Oregon? Really nice beach there. Nope. I can't think of one beach I've been to in Oregon. Oh, it's slow. So it's San Luis Obispo. Okay. Obispo, is that how you pronounce it? Yeah, I probably shouldn't get into it, but Storm Williams, not to mention how handsome he is. Yeah, there were some legendary, stories also of, how Bill's, handsomeness got him into trouble too, and I mean legendary stories. Legendary. Everyone knew. Also, on that same note, boy, I have some cool clips for you guys today. This is a crazy clip I'm about to show you. This is Dave Castro did something pretty wild yesterday. I'm sure someone on here is gonna tell me this isn't a big deal, but this seems like a crazy big deal to me. By the way, notice the landscape here, how beautiful it is where Dave lives. These are just farm fields. Dave lives in complete and total Mexican country. Like Dave lives like where all the Mexicans live. It's a very, very unique, environment he lives in. You see all the farm fields and then the Pacific Ocean? This is where all your produce comes from, for those of you who eat produce. Here we go. Here's Dave's, Instagram.
Ruck Race League event 1. In 60 minutes, go as far as you can with 20% of your body weight. So this morning I stepped on a scale, weighed myself, determined how much I needed, then set up my Kafaru pack. And basically I needed 39 pounds, a little more than I expected. Took off on the race and went aggressive, 8:51 first mile pace. Second mile started fading, 9:21. But I felt good about being able to hit my overall goal of hitting 10K. Just needed to continue to push. Third mile, 9:31. At the turnaround point, knew I was going to hit the goal, or at least thought I was going to hit the goal, but I didn't realize how much I was fading from pace. Fourth mile, 9:39 pace. And as I entered the fifth mile, I finished the fifth mile at 9:56 pace. And the sixth mile ended up being around a 10:10 pace. Ultimately, as I neared the finish line, I realized I'd have to push, and it was going to be harder than I thought to break the 10K goal, but I ended up hitting 10,000 meters and 40.
This fucking dude had a 40-pound pack and went 10,000 meters, just over 6 miles in an hour. That's wild. I had no idea he could do that.
So 100040 meters and puts me in 26th place on the leaderboard.
So this is Cariana Athens and Bill Athens. They have this I guess it's called the Ruck Race League, and anyone can do it in the world. I want to say the founder of it, Bill Athens, was on the Base podcast with Jake Chapman a couple days ago. He used the app to modify Strava data. I don't know what that means. He's a SEAL dude. I know, but still, I figured he got soft. He got rich. Jessica, I'd love to have a 10-minute mile. He did it with a 40-pound pack. That would break me. Why did he use that Cavaro pack? I don't ever even heard of a Cavaro pack.
If I feel good this week, thinking about redoing it.
I wonder who he had take that picture. He looks like he's worked. I wore a 30-pound vest. I wore a 30-pound vest the other day for an hour, just fooling around in the garage, and I was wrecked. I can't imagine wearing 40 pounds for an hour while jogging. I didn't even know you people jogged when they rucked. I thought it was just walking. $100 registration fee. Oh, to enter the race. Dave is training to outrun ice. Maybe. Dave is not on California hormones. He is not. Not that I know of. Jonathan Ortega, the military standard is 15-minute mile for a 12-mile ruck and a 55-pound pack. Regular Army is 35 pounds. Wow. Yeah, Kenneth, that's what 40 pounds on your back and shoulders. When I wear that 30-pound vest, it just feels like 30 pounds on my shoulders the entire time. At 20% of body weight. Dave must be pushing 200. Anyway, I'm impressed. I wonder if he's beat up today. I texted him this morning, "Holy shit, are you wounded?" Oh, he just wrote back, "Yes." It was hard. Well, good. Fuck. Can Bill do that? Can Grunler do that? Joe Ellis. Good morning, Joe. Warrant Officer School is based on body weight. It was 50 pounds for me for a 10K ruck. Holy smoke. CTP Good morning. I did 45-pound, 12 miles in Crocs. It took me 3 days. Oh. Oh, spider on my desk. Oh, it's fucking spider season in California. Damn. Sorry, dude. I didn't mean to well, I did mean to kill you. Spiders everywhere. What was your time on that? CTP, what was your time? Were you following someone? Was that a camera bag? Don't kill spiders, they're the good guys. I agree, but this one was right on my desk by my keyboard. Boss man, CTP has the biggest penis in the space. Send photos. 3 hours and 11 minutes. Hottest day of the year. We did a small group. Or you were wearing a 511. Were you wearing a 511 ruck or it took you 3 hours and 11 minutes? Holy shit, your feet must have been like hamburger meat. What did you do? You did 45 pounds, 12 miles, so you did twice as far as Dave with more weight, and you probably weigh less than Dave. Dave's a big dude. He's 6 feet tall. Gino out with 30 pounds now, walking the dog on the trail listening. Hmm. Oh, man. They gave me 1 pack without the bottom straps was brutal. About 2 years ago, Thomas DeLauer and I wanna say Dave and 2 other SEALs they invited me to go on a 50-mile ruck with a 50-pound pack. I think this was during COVID. I wanna say that Thomas told Dave that I could come, but I wasn't allowed to take any pictures with him because he was afraid. Because he makes a fucking killing on his YouTube channel, and he didn't wanna be seen with me. Because remember, while everyone else was being a fucking pussy and pushing the fascist, ideology, hating on, white people and hating on Asians and forcing little kids to take, government mandated drugs and forcing gym closures, there was one little Armenian dude alone who stood alone and talked back. And, so he didn't wanna have a picture with me. And he didn't wanna be any video footage on my channel at the time. And, I told Dave that I would do it, but there's no fucking way. I would bring my cell phone and, my wallet. There's no way I was told him I would try to walk 50 miles. What they ended up doing and they did it fasted, so I think you had to fast for 24 hours first. And I ended up not going, but they did a 35-pound I think Ben Alderman went. I think Ben Alderman went, the guy who, owns the NorCal Classic with Blair Morrison, and they did a 35-pound ruck, and they went 35 miles, and I wanna say that all of the guys had bloody feet, just horribly bloody feet and toenails falling off by the end. Completely flat the whole way. I had to wear a mask, like a COVID mask. Joe Ellis, I had to wear a COVID mask during an outdoor formation ruck. Nuts. The best line about, the mask was when I asked Nicky Rodriguez, "Do you wear a mask?" And he goes, "No, I try to kill people for a living, and how you kill people is covering their mouths." It was interesting yesterday or 2 days ago when I had the Jew on, a Jew rabbi on, that some people thought he was playing the victim. Some of you need to, like a few of you, a small portion of you need to work on your critical thinking. Telling a story about your dog getting hit by a car and then the car bouncing off your dog and running over your leg is not playing the victim. Telling a story about being mugged is not being a victim. Talking about the past or the future is not living in the present. And we're off. Yes, we are. Thank you. Some of you, a few of you, are as simple as fucking snails in your understanding of the world. That's that line I'm pointing at the moon, and you're staring at my finger. It's that line. You're trying to share something with someone, and they can't stop being fixated on you. I think that's like narcissism. I think that that's a manifestation of narcissism when you're always looking at the messenger. Another thing people do is that they don't realize they're so trapped in their head, they start conversations right in the middle, and they don't realize that the person you're talking to has no idea what you're talking about. I give you an example. Someone starts, comparing, Neptune to Saturn, and they make these and they've been talking for 10 minutes, and you have no idea that Neptune and Saturn are planets. They didn't establish. In movies, they have something called the establishing shot, and it's like a wide shot, super wide, off the coast of New York City. It's a slow drone shot into the city. You can see the entire city, and the credits are rolling, and then after that, and the music stops. The next shot is in an alley, and now you know that you're in an alley in one of the largest and most wealthy metropolises in the world, so you can start to contextualize shit. And so many people are just dig in. That's why you watch when I'm interviewing, I always try to put I'll interrupt someone really quick just to put some context into something so everyone knows what we're talking about. And half of you are like, "Everyone knew that, don't be stupid." No, no. Everyone didn't know Uranus and, Pluto were planets. They didn't know. But Sevi, Pluto's not a planet. But if you don't have context, by the way, people just start tuning out, and when you use words like religion or God, I those are such, uh those words that you can almost assume right away that when you say one of those words, you've already lost the other person, that you and that person are now on 2 different tracks. They're not even understanding what you're saying. It would be like if I started telling you about a tree. We all know what a tree is, but just to get for a second, assume you don't know what a tree is, and the other person thinks you're talking about an automobile. The automobile called a tree. And then you're 20 minutes into the discussion, and you guys are on 2 totally different planets. You're not even talking about the same thing because you haven't even defined, the words. Yeah, exactly. We see the perfect example of it, sorry, Pat, is Pat. Pat's, like, world class at it. And so at least you should notice when the other person does it and be like, "Okay." That's why follow-up questions are so huge. You gotta have follow-up questions. "What did he mean by that?" Yeah, no, but not poor Pat. We need Pat because he helps, the good thing that say this, here's the really good thing about Pat. He's a great reminder that there's people doing that shit everywhere. And then when they get off course, you can be like, "Okay, I wonder how many other people got off course when I said that word. I better go back and define that word." If you wanna be a good interviewer, just listen, 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 and then anytime there's something that you're not sure, even if you are sure, but you suspect 1% you're not sure, stop the person and ask them what they meant by that. And it could be as simple as, "Hey, so I was out late one night driving." And then you go, "How late?" And they're like, 3 in the morning. So now you know that they weren't even out at night. They were out at 3 in the morning. So we know Dave is fit. And you have to wonder if there's, he's talking about the ruck. He's talking about the ruck. Does that mean there's gonna be ruck in the CrossFit Games? Proximity bias. Look, all these people I've never seen before. Good morning, Miss Mission. How are you? Nice hair. Use code BASESHOW for 10% off. Oh, really? For the ruck race? Okay, there you go. Just go do it so you could beat Dave's ass. I tried to get more information on this. I think we talked about this briefly, but in January, a guy died at a High Rocks event. Did he die? No, suffered a heart attack. Oh no, I do think he passed. 37-year-old who had been interested in exercise since his late teens, had competed in Muay Thai boxing events in recent years, was excited to challenge himself further with the grueling competition. However, on race day in November, the site manager said he didn't feel well. He put the strange feeling down to race day nerves. Ashley, who lives in Manchester, that means he's injected. That means he had the vaccine. Grew more concerned when his heart rate skyrocketed to 220 after crossing the finish line. He began experiencing sharp pains. He was in the middle of a heart attack. He was rushed to the hospital. He had blockage in his left coronary artery. Uh, he's made a full recovery, but is now warning others about the importance of listening to your body. Oh, okay. This guy lived. But I saw a story yesterday. That someone died last week at a High Rocks event in Quebec, and I can't get it verified. Does anyone know if that's true? Not confirmed. And when the website that I go to when I try to Quebec High Rocks death, when I was looking for it last night, every time I went to the website, it it tried to put like some sort of software on my computer. Oh, it's working. Let me pull this article up. This is the only article I could find. This is the only article I could find on it. Matthew Abuga death, Montreal High Rocks, Quebec fitness coach has sadly passed away. Information reaching our news desk that popular Montreal fitness coach Matthew Aguba has sadly passed away. The news of his death was made known to the public in the Facebook made a few hours ago, and a Facebook post made a few hours ago. No official report has been released by the family as per the cause of death. Canada vaccine. We already know. A post made on Facebook by Matthew Fredette confirmed the passing of Matthew. The post reads, Sevi, how can you say it's the vaccine? Because he's fucking 37 or whatever the fuck he is, and he died of a fucking heart attack, and he lives in Canada. That's why it's a good guess. And that's why you also would spend, if you had to bet $1 million and you had no choice, you would also bet it was a heart attack from the vaccine. I'm from Montreal, Quebec. The coroner is investigating the case. Hi. Hi, babe. Hi, David. You want to get with Standy so bad, don't you, David? If you guys ever meet, you guys shouldn't talk. You guys should just go out for a drink and hang out for like 3 hours and not exchange a single word. And just use all your other senses to see if you guys are a right fit for each other. Have you ever done that? Had sex with someone you never even exchanged a single word with? Telepathic dating. The post reads, "To my friends, to my coach, I still don't understand what I learned this morning while taking off. I was listening to one of your old Ruffs versus Pereira spinning playlists this morning at the airport before I had this horrible news. You were and always will be an inspiration to me and all. You had such an attractive energy. You set an example of discipline and perseverance. Perseverance. Why couldn't they save him if he was at the event? That's a question for Alicia Fuliano. Did I show you his picture? Did I show the screen? Yeah, you guys saw it. Anyway, that's the only article on it. There's a Facebook post. Oh, here's a young, good-looking dude. One fewer strong Asian man in the world. Threesomes are better than most dating. Grant, I had sex with a girl one time without speaking with her. She didn't exist. Oh, yeah. There are a bunch of articles here about the incident, but in français, in français. I have some I have some I have some wisdom about threesomes. It's not really wisdom. Wisdom is not the right word. I have some the word I'm looking for. Not insights. Tutorials, instructions. Yeah, I have probably some tutorials and some instructions about threesomes. Insights? Best practices? Best practices? Best practices? Probably best practices. I think that's it. Best practices. Ken Walters, it's a college thing. Advises? Sydney, are you old enough to be listening to this show? Fuck, are you 12? Mr. and Mrs. Rembert, take Sydney's iPhone from her, please. Fuck is she doing? Listen. What are you doing? In other news, Audrey did not wear a bra or underwear yesterday. Oh, I know there's something in here. Jessica Valenzuela, so you're telling us you've had a threesome. I've had a threesome. I only had threesome and foursomes and fivesome, sixsomes. You're only on the planet so much time. There's no reason to having sex with one person is like juggling a ball with one ball. That's not true. That's not true. Joe can have a threesome with one person. Oh shit. Damn. Damn. Damn, that's solid. So if you get with Joe, is it a foursome? Yesterday, something crazy happened. I cannot believe I did not know about this. I'll show you the video first. Uh, and I apologize to the people who don't know who these guys are, but there's a strongman called Eddie Hall, and then there's an old strongman back from my day named Maurice Pujanowski. Ken, I bet you don't even know. You and Jeffrey don't even know, and you should know. It's a fucking embarrassment that you guys don't know. You know what I'm going to tell you about Maurice Pujanowski? He was the first strongman that didn't look like a pile of shit. I don't know if you guys remember that. And then there's Eddie Hall. He's a more recent strongman, still old and washed up, but fucking a savage still. Not washed up as a human, but washed up as a strongman. He was on roids. Yeah, he was on roids. That's correct. I mean, I don't know. Oh, Fergie knows. You know what happened yesterday? Jeff and what's the other guy's name? Ken, you don't cheat either. You have no idea what I'm about to share with you, and you guys should be embarrassed. I'm not pronouncing his name wrong. It's Maurice Pujanowski. It's not Maris. Maris is the chick Bryson's putting it to. Maurice Pujanowski. You know what? Yeah, Jeremy knows. They fought. Maurice Pujanowski. He was the first strongman who didn't look like a sack of shit. I mean, he looked like the Incredible Hulk. And Maurice Pujanowski, 48, fought Eddie Hall in just a straight fight yesterday. It's fucking nuts.
Obecnie mentalnie przybita piątka. Już trzeba zaczynać, Eddie. To już jest walka. Czy Mariusz będzie w stanie wykorzystać
Eddie Hall's the one on the left ducking Maurice's punch.
twoje doświadczenie? Czy utrzymana reakcja się dzieje? To jest niemożliwe! Ale awantura bije Hall! Zraniony Pudzian idzie po nogi, czy wali? Nie wali! Zobaczyli na ziemię jak kulą 200-kilową! Eddie Hall! Czy przebije Pudzian? Koniec, przerywa to wszystko! Sędzia Broder, ale ekspresowa robota!
I think that dude deadlifted 1,000 pounds.
Ediego Halla! Kto by się tego spodziewał? Przecież to jest niemożliwe! Eddie Hall!
Does he have a lip piercing in?
Jest obecny mentalnie przybita.
That's the whole fight right there. You just saw it. Listen, Jeff. Listen. Mark Kerr was a professional fighter. I'm not talking about professional fighters that look like gods. I'm talking about strongmen. I know you live to be right and prove people wrong. I know you stand by the register at Safeway, the checker, for 8 hours a day waiting for them to make a mistake and charge the wrong amount for a batch of parsley. I know that that's your favorite pastime. When you're not on Amazon shopping for canes. But I'm not referencing MMA fighters. I'm referencing strong men. Okay, Jeff? Okay. Maurice Pujanowski was the first strongman who didn't look like a fat sack of shit. No, of course, Jeff doesn't. Jeff uses one of those carts that has the engine in it. You know, the battery operated ones that wait by the door where you sit in and you drive it around. That. Pretty crazy, right? These two dudes fought. I wonder how much they got paid. How much you think they got paid? Maurice Pujanowski. Maurice. You want me to say it? Maurice? Jeff? Maurice? Maurice Pujanowski won the World Strongman competition 5 times, more than any other competitor in event history. Man, he still looks amazing. There was always these stories that Maurice Pujanowski was, like, owned by the mob. Eddie Hall destroys Maurice Pujanowski in 30 seconds at the KSW 105 battle of strongmen. Eddie Hall may lack Maurice Pujanowski's MMA experience, but at KSW 105 on Saturday, he proved that size and strength can make up for a lot of other deficiencies. The former world's strongest man needed just 30 seconds to dispatch fellow strongman Maurice Pujanowski. His short right hand from Hall early on seemed to put Pujanowski in trouble. I mean, he threw him across the ring. The Polish powerlifter tried for a takedown to buy himself some time to recover, but Hall flung him violently to the mat before pouring on right hands for the finish. What the fight lacked in precision or skill made up for with the sheer chaotic carnage. It was a super heavyweight tilt under special rules regarding round length. I think they mean ring length. I'm not sure. But it turned out to be a non-issue as Hall emerged victorious after a wild half minute of action. There was nothing but offense. The biggest difference seemed to be nearly the 70-pound weight advantage that Hall brought into the fight. The British strongman said he'd slimmed down for the bout, but still came in at 334, giving him a distinct edge over Pujanowski, who clocked in at 267. In the UFC, just so you know how big that is, in the UFC, the most you can weigh is 265. And Eddie Hall weighed in at 334. At 37, Hall was also the younger man, and the difference in years showed even the short conflict. Pujanowski, 48. Dude, that's old as dirt. Has now lost 3 straight, leaving him with the uncertain future in the sport he's competed in only sporadically in recent years. Hall later told reporters they may have broken his right hand in the fight. This was his first sanctioned MMA bout, though he has dabbled in some other combat sport outings. He suggested the possibility of a rematch with Pujanowski, though it's unclear if this short display will sustain fan interest. Wild. I wonder what country this was in. Was this in Poland? It looked like a high-value production. I tried that hamstring thing with my kids yesterday, where you pushed. We were talking about the other day on the show, where they're on their knees with their torsos straight up, and I push down on their calves, and I push them down and tell them to hamstring curl up. None of them could do it. They couldn't even figure out. My son Joseph kept saying, "Which muscle am I using? Which muscle am I using?" I think I'm going to get them to do that. I think I'm going to, the Nordic curl. Thank you, Kenneth. The Nordic curl. I think I'm going to show them a bunch of videos on Nordic curl. I'm going to get them to do that. I don't know why but I've become obsessed with it. It's something I can't get out of my mind for the last month. Oh, Claire. Hey, good morning. Jeff Bako, the latest fitness guru gimmick. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. I don't know. Claire, what's your boyfriend say? Is that a gimmick or is that important? Paul Saladino dick gets hard. Kenneth DeLapp says Paul Saladino's dick gets hard for Nordic girls. Yeah, Brianna, start with negatives. Yeah, that's what we were doing. That's what we were doing. Oh, see, look at. Good morning. It's one of Jimmy's favorite hamstring exercises. Okay. All right. All right. Speaking of hard-ons, Jonathan Ortega just got one. Hi, Claire. So there's that. Eddie Hall, Maurice Pujanowski. I watched those fights yesterday on Chill Boxing, Chill Sports. Those 35 1-minute rounds, and then I pivoted over to the UFC. Watched Ian Gary fight Pradas. It's kind of crazy. I watched this pay-per-view. It was 35 1-minute fights, 1 round. It's basically just watching street fighting. It's like, because you don't know who any of the guys are. It's like scrolling through Instagram if your algorithm just shows you street fights. It's just 1 minute of just two dudes just walk in and just beat the shit out of each other. Oh, event 7 underway. They're not going to get to Ken. Don't you think it's going to take like an hour with all those people to get to the people we want to see? I don't want to see this fight. Jason Bourne says, Sevi, who you got for Dustin Diamond versus Max Holloway? I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. How much do you spend on UFC fights every year? Well, my cable and internet, I want to say, is like $220 a month. And I don't even use cable. It's so fucking lame. But the only way you can get the fast internet here where I live is if you get the cable package. And then I guess that comes with ESPN Plus. So that, whatever that is, it's pretty much the only thing I watch. I watch that and YouTube. And then I recently just got YouTube TV, so that's another like $70 a month. And then every UFC main event is $79.99, and what? There's 10 of those a year. So I don't know, $3,000, $4,000, something stupid. Why'd you ask me that? I don't want to know that. Yeah, there'll be 5 heats. Yeah, I can't do that. I can't do 5 heats. I can't. Someone tell me if Roman comes on or something, or if like some good girl, Sung Young Choi. Dude, David, did you see Pornhub is just getting decimated? Did you see what's happening over there? I think I saw they had to pull down 80% of their content. I was reading some article on it. They're fucked. Don't quote me on this, but the UFC deal was some private equity company bought Pornhub from the guy who owned it, by the way, and shit's gone sideways over there. Some UFC deal with ESPN, I think, don't quote me on it. Someone can look it up if they want. It was 5 years, $1 billion. And now I think the UFC is asking for $1 billion a year. And I don't think ESPN, from just the shit that I read, is going to sign it. And so there are talks of it going over to Netflix. I don't think I would ever go. I don't think there's anything I would ever go over to ESPN ever again if UFC left. They don't treat I don't think that they treat the UFC very well. It must not be very popular for them. They don't get their own icon like tennis or hockey, or you know what I mean? Shit like that. Like when you scroll through there, you have to go to MMA. You have to go through a sub menu to get to them. They get treated like the redheaded stepchild. So head on over to Netflix. Dustin gets KO'd quick. I don't think so. That's why I don't want to see it, Caveman. I think they're just going to sit there and beat the shit out of each other. I'm not doing NFL package anymore. I'm not doing fuck the NFL. Like there's someone in my DMs who sends me a link to all the games now. It's so awesome. The Chicago games. That's it. That's how I'm watching the NFL. That's how I'm doing that. I'm only interested in the Chicago Bears.
I told you there has only been one time in U.S. history in which our national debt has been completely paid off, and it was done with tariffs. It was done by President Andrew Jackson, who would use tariffs to reduce the national debt from $60 million to zero by the time he left office. And he did this with no federal income tax. In fact, there was no federal income tax in the United States of America until Abraham Lincoln tried to impose one during the Civil War, which was a 3% tax on income. It lasted 10 years and it was imposed during wartime. And then in 1894, Grover Cleveland tried to levy an income tax with the Wilson-Gorman Tariff Act. And we'll get to why that's so important. But the income tax would be taken to the Supreme Court in Pollock v. Farmers, and they ruled the income tax to be unconstitutional.
The fucking Supreme Court ruled that income tax was unconstitutional.
Which is why Congress had to change the Constitution in 1913 so they could levy an income tax. So there was essentially no legal federal income tax the first 137 years America was a country. So under George Washington, there was no federal income tax. Under Andrew Jackson, there was no federal income tax. Under Teddy Roosevelt, there was no federal income tax. But everything would change after the 16th Amendment and the passage of the Revenue Act of 1913, which established a 1 to 6% income tax, and just as importantly, reduced tariffs from 40% to 26%.
Are you guys hearing this shit? Are you guys hearing this shit? Look at Jeff Bako thinks history. Bako thinks history is conspiracy theories. Fuck, we live with fucking crazy people. Oh my God. Oh my. You think history is conspiracy theories? What's wrong with you, dude? Things were different back then. It was different. It was different. That was a different time. It was different. That's when humans breathed oxygen. They didn't smoke cigarettes. That's when they didn't breathe marijuana. Things were different then.
It's like the Wilson-Gorman Tariff Act of 1894, which established an income tax and reduced tariffs because the powers that be were about to shift American power from the people to international banks and international corporations who paid most of America's taxes up until 1913. But after 1913, the majority of taxes were paid by people like you and me. The purpose of the federal income tax was always to replace tariffs so that you and I would replace international corporations as the government's primary source of revenue.
Now, I want you to remember that international corporations, World Economic Forum, international corporations, one world order. Remember that.
And it was tariffs that empowered America to become the manufacturing center of the world before 1913. American steel, American oil, American automotive all became the envy of the world under President William McKinley, who levied a
How fucking stupid is the argument the left has? Do you really want to be making iPhones? Do you really want to be making iPhones? Dude. Right now, our kids are either aren't working or work at McDonald's. You don't think that we have the workforce to make iPhones? You're out of your mind. Ken, Kyle, I would love to see how fast the USA rebounds if all the Democrats said, okay, we will pass 100% everything all at once. Oh, it would be amazing. We're so lucky we have Trump. We are so lucky. We are so fucking lucky. Thank God he's getting rid of the Maryland man.
50% tariff on almost all imports. But when they got rid of tariffs and replaced it with free trade, it became a race to the bottom. A race to outsource American manufacturing to whichever countries offer the cheapest labor. To outsource your jobs to whichever countries offer the cheapest labor. As free trade has always been a race to the bottom. And it is the economic lifeblood of global governance and those who wish to subvert American jurisdiction and sovereignty. And the powers that be will gaslight you and say things like, the cost of tariffs gets passed off to the consumer, which is true in that international companies are forced to raise their prices. But over time, that allows American companies to actually compete with them. And because of that, they start to expand, could build in bulk, and start to get their prices down. And as they expand, they need more labor, and more jobs open up in new manufacturing plants. And you need more managers and more skilled people, and wages start to go up, especially if the flow of immigration into the country is stopped. And then there's more jobs, higher wages, and affordable products. Andrew Jackson paid off America's debt in full with tariffs, and America became the manufacturing center of the world under William McKinley with tariffs. And I don't know about you, but I think it's about time we start putting Americans first again. And you can start.
Oh, I do know about you. And yes, it is time. Listen, those other countries aren't even melting pots. Our country's not called Mexico or Finland or India. Damn, man, Daniel, did you not listen to what he just said? As long as you recognize that tariffs are a tax on Americans, then the discussion can start. Trump doesn't understand that yet. Oh, man, Daniel. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, boy. Okay, fine. Cool. It's a tax on Americans. Now what? It doesn't discredit anything that this guy just said. Didn't you hear what this guy just said? The whole point is to level the playing field. And so since we're behind now, there is going to be a price to pay. And I get it. You don't want to pay it. I get it. I get it. I get it. But it's all World Economic Forum, one world order shit. All of it. All of it. Including these guys. I did a little digging into these guys yesterday. These guys, did you know American Heart Association is World Economic Forum? American Heart, American Heart Association. They're World Economic Forum people. And you know, just by listening to this, listen, this is all more one world. Everything you don't like is one world order shit.
CEO of American Heart Association makes $4 million a year with close to $1 billion in revenue, where 50% of their revenue is going to employee compensation. Now, I'm going to show you the history of the American Heart Association. This is going to blow your mind. It all started with the propaganda against saturated fat. The 1961 American Heart Association advice to limit saturated fat is arguably the single most influential nutrition policy ever published. Now, this is the part where it gets crazy. The American Heart Association had received the equivalent of $20 million in today's dollars from Procter & Gamble, the makers of Crisco oil. That donation from Procter & Gamble turned the American Heart Association from a small committee to the largest nonprofit in the world.
Just think about that. The American Heart Association was turned into the largest nonprofit in the world with one donation from Crisco. It would be like if the NFL gave this podcast $5 million and I never talked about CrossFit again, which I would do. No problem. No problem. No problem at all. That's it. I'm done. Only football talk. And these guys are full. Once you start Googling around about their boards and you start digging into the American Heart Association, it takes like 2 seconds to find it. Nancy Brown, the chief executive officer of the American Heart Association, She's affiliated with look at her face. It's like a fucking vampire. She's affiliated with the World Economic Forum. Global Health Equity Network co-chair, Global Coalition for Value in Healthcare of the World Economic Forum, member of the World Economic Forum Executive Board on Health, a Health and Healthcare Governors Community, past co-chair member. Wild. Just one quick look. American Heart Association. In bed with fucking Crisco oil. It's not even an oil. It's a lie. It's not even an oil. Sevi, did you listen to the Peterson on Rogan? He said the same thing you and Greg do. Maha needs to start with insulin resistance. The rest is just noise. I didn't hear him say that. That would be cool to hear that. I should show it to Greg. I mean, I've been hearing that from Greg for 20 years. You know who I can't stand? I just can't stand him. He's such a cuck. Is Andrew Schultz. He had Peter Buttigieg on, and I wonder if I have the clip. And he's sucking Pete Buttigieg's dick. Pete Buttigieg comes on Andrew Schultz, and he's like, I like what Trump and Elon are doing. I like it that they're cutting the jobs, but what they should have done is they should have rewarded people. They should have rewarded people for the jobs well done instead of cutting the people. They should have given incentives for the government employees to do who did a good job instead of cutting people who are doing a bad job. He's such a fucking idiot. He's such a fucking idiot. Listen, no one gives a fuck about your opinion when you were in fucking power forever and you didn't do shit, and now someone's doing something and you want to figure out a way to tweak it. The problem is that there's so much fucking corruption that it has to be fucking cut back. Have you ever had weeds in your yard? I had all these weeds in my yard, and they were surrounding my milkweed garden, and they had completely infiltrated it, and I couldn't distinguish the weeds from the milkweed. So I did just cut everything down and start over. And Andrew Schultz is like, okay. He's just sitting there agreeing. He will agree with anyone who's on his show. He was always a beta cuck. I hate it that he's portrayed or spoke about as a right-wing podcast host. He is a world-class sissy. He is a populist. He will just agree with what anyone says on the show. I will say this. Actually, let me walk that back just a tiny bit. I did see him on the Shannon Sharp podcast, and he was amazing. So, fuck it. Maybe erase everything I did say. He was great with Shannon Sharp, because Shannon Sharp is truly a fucking liberal cuck. Shannon Sharp is just, he's the worst. He's got LeBron syndrome. Instead of sharing with the world how he got so successful through hard work and the means he did, he still wants to fucking give the black man excuses. He wants to play the victim role. It's bizarre. No, I don't watch Shannon Sharp either. He's just no one watches him. He's just really popular in the news right now because he got a huge dick. He's beautiful and a great body, and he's putting the D to bitches. Yeah. These fucking chicks that want to be choked, and then he's getting in trouble for choking them. Where is that? Someone send me a link to that, would you? YouTube link to the is it recent? Is his most recent one with Jordan and Jogan? Rorden and fuck are their names? Jim Jordan, Joe Rogan and Jordan Peterson. Oh, that's a mouthful. Joe Rogan and Jordan Peterson. There's a whole group of former libs, moderates that are trying to infiltrate right-wing conservative space right now and undermine MAGA. I don't mind people changing their mind. I changed my mind. I hadn't I didn't change my listen, I didn't change my mind. I had an awakening, like, on how to think. I got clarity in my thinking. I started thinking. I started thinking. Before I was just all emotion. "Oh, yeah, clean needle programs are great. That way AIDS won't spread." It's like playing checkers and then learning how to play chess. Well, what happens 2 moves ahead? I need a mouthful. Someone give Audrey a mouthful. Oh, that was weird. I felt movement in my pants. That's crazy. That's how men are. That quick, just like that. The word mouthful, and I'm not the only one. Some of the listeners felt movement in their pants too. The thing with the threesome is I don't know, maybe this should be for members only. A members only threesome, study guide course. I could teach the course in it. Thank you, Chase. I appreciate I was feeling a little vulnerable saying that, but thank you, for giving me, some validity to my statement. Yeah, yeah. Okay, maybe I'll do a threesome, private. Maybe I should charge for that. Maybe I should put that on Wodify. Joe Elisevi, I'd like to participate in the threesome chat. I was, chatting with someone the other day, and we were talking about thresholds and this is by the way, let me know if Roman goes or if anyone goes who I need to watch so I can pull that up and watch it. Or if who do we need to know who goes? Moritz and Roman and Sung Young Choi. There was I don't really do sound effects anymore. Hello? 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 No. Hello? No. No.
But it
Hel-
is
no. Hello? 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 I don't even know where my sound effects went. I don't even know where they went.
It's so deep. It's so deep.
there's nothing smart about you, Joe. So we built the.
You're retarded.
Oh, this one?
You're just straight up retarded.
Oh, this one? Oh, I found it. Shit.
You're retarded.
I forgot I had this one.
You're just straight up retarded.
I was a friend of mine goes, "Hey," I said something to one of my friends. I said, "Man, how does that person sleep with themselves at night?" And my friend starts laughing, and I go, "What?" And they go, "You're never gonna believe this. Someone said that to me about you." And I go, "Really?" They're like, "Yeah, he says the harshest things on his show. How does he sleep at night?" And I was trying to think. I think the harshest thing I ever said was I had some, and maybe you guys could remind me, but I think the harshest thing I remember saying on my show ever was when I was just going berserk on Annie. Maybe I called her a dumb cunt or a retarded cunt or something. I think I just went berserk. Um, but it reminded me, and then I was I was chatting with someone the other day. It was because it was around the Brian stuff, and had remembered a story when I was doing shows with Brian, and he called me one day and he said, "Hey, dude, could you do me a favor?" And I said, "Sure. What's up?" And he said, "Could you not call Sean Woodland Shawnee anymore?" And I assume Oh, anyone who doesn't homeschool their kids is a piece of shit. Wow. Wow. Yeah, that's not cool. That's a little harsh. But I mean, I could still sleep with that. Strike that one from the record. Damn, I can't believe any of you even listen to this show anymore. And you called her a dumb bitch. Oh. That's pretty harsh. Yeah, that's pretty harsh. I do agree. Joe Ellis, I was homeschooled, turned out fine. Not weird at all. I was perusing your pictures of when you were a boy the other day, Joe. And so Brian says, "Hey, will you not call Sean Woodland Shawnee anymore?" And I assumed that that's because Sean had told him that pisses him off. Did you feel movement in your pants when I told you I was perusing pictures of you being a boy? And the reason why I called Shawnee was just because it rhymes with Tommy. So I would be like Shawnee and Tommy, Tommy and Shawnee. And I meant it in no fucking way offensive at all. Like none. Like zero. It would be like if John Young were on there with Tommy, I would have called it Johnny and Tommy. You are pretty retarded if you send your if you don't homeschool your kids. You put your kids behind a chain link fence. You had a fucking kid. You had a fucking kid to raise a fucking kid. You stick a pacifier in its fucking mouth when it's crying like a fucking idiot. No one wants anything shoved in their mouth besides Audrey. You're on this terror of doing dumb shit to your fucking kid. Putting him in one of those fucking things that hangs on your chest all day so your kid can't get any fucking tummy time, can't fight with gravity fucking at all. And then when it's finally worth fucking 2 cents to the fucking world, instead of continuing to raise it and teach it something and model for it, you put him behind a chain link fence with some fat fucking dyke that fucking thinks men should be playing in women's sports and you should be introducing gender ideology to 4-year-olds. Yeah, it's fucking stupid. That's it. I'm quitting my job. A lot of presuppositions there, my guy. Here, my guy. I know. Fine. Okay. So if that's the world we live in now, I don't know if Sean actually asked Brian, told Brian, hey, why? Like, I'm guessing it went down with like, hey, Brian, why do you hang out with that asshole? He's such a dick. He calls me Shawnee. Sean Woodland's a big, huge man who's yoked, who looks like a fucking linebacker, retired linebacker, or WWE wrestler, WWF wrestler, and with a really deep, sexy voice. And I call him Shawnee. And like, if you get remotely offended by that, I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know if he did, by the way, either, because Brian is you have to understand, Brian is such a white knight. Like, I would have someone on the show twice, and then Brian would reach out to them and be like, have you ever considered asking Sevon to pay you to come on the show? This is like my guy. Or he'd be like, hey, what are we going to do to get these people paid to come on the show? When can I get a t-shirt with my name on it? Like, geez, dude. But when there's people, I doubt Sean cares. Okay. Fair enough. But if he did, that, I mean, there's at some point, I just can't, at some point I can't worry. I said your name wrong, or I'm having fun with your name on my own podcast. I wasn't sharing pictures of you naked with Joe. Oh, shut it, Daniel. Oh, shut it, Daniel. Oh my god. Daniel, that's another quality. I'm reading into it, but I'm gonna assume you're being passive aggressive. Are you? Are you, Daniel? Be honest. Daniel says if there was only a way to find out how Sean felt. I don't think Sean has the tools to have that discussion, by the way. He was the only one at the of all the people that I've had like run-ins with, verbal spats with, Instagram fights, he was the only one at the CrossFit Games. He in the last one in the Madison? No, maybe I think I saw him in Madison, and he was the only one. Like he clearly wanted nothing to do with me. All the other cats, like everyone else, I hung out with. You know, I'll tell you another weird thing about Brian. I've heard it now from about a half dozen people. Brian says you act really awkward around him. That I act awkward around him. Like that's what he's telling people. Can't believe how many times I've heard that. All righty. Brian, maybe just take a deep breath, hit the reset on that, hit the clear switch on that, the clear button, and then come up with another reason why you might think what you're interpreting is me acting awkward around you. Why don't you figure out like just maybe one or two other possible interpretations of our interaction? Imagine walking in and seeing your girlfriend getting railed. I want to tell you the reason why I pulled this comment up is because the word railed caught my eye. Audrey, I saw your name and then I saw railed and I said, okay, it's a great word, isn't it? Getting railed. What is the Urban Dictionary for railed? Railed. I hope someone's watching to let me know if Roman goes or Sunggung Choi. Provide or I better do Urban Dictionary. Urban Dictionary. Railed or railed to get super owned or beat. A sexual reference to used to describe a sexual pose where the girl is gripping the rail. Oh, I never even thought of that. Get railed. What does getting railed? Did you rail her in the bathroom? Wildly fucked while also a short period of time, lasting a short period of time. Oh, it even has a time domain. I railed that bitch so hard when I shot it, it fucking came out her nose. The act of fucking the living shit out of someone or someone, preferably a female. So, Joe, that's not true. I don't think it has to be a female. To fuck someone in the ass and entering the full length of your dick all at once, usually without lube. Jeez Louise. I wish I wouldn't have looked it up. Okay, where are we? Imagine walking in and seeing your girlfriend getting railed and then checking yourself into the nut house. Be like the rest of men and just beat both their asses. Hey, or have a threesome. Or have a threesome. Drop your ego. Pull up a hard on and fill a hole. The railer can be railed. Oh. Wow. Hmm. What did McCaskey say? Oh. Oh yeah. uh, Mike McCaskey, aren't girls capable of multiples? Yeah, so are boys. Just don't let the baby batter fly. And you could have a second, a third, and a fifth, and a 10th. Yeah, girls are between the age of 30 and 40. A woman cannot just have one. They're not like dudes. They have one and they want to go to sleep. They want one and then they want 7. Greedy bitches. 30 to 40 is the sweet spot. I'm going to give you some really solid advice here. Solid, the best advice ever. If for some reason you need to cheat on your mate, do not do it until she's over 40. Because what you're doing is between 30 and 40 is the sweet spot for a woman. And what you want is her to have ultimate trust and freedom in your relationship. Don't screw that up. There's no extracurriculatory vagina out there that's worth damaging the trust of your relationship if the chick you're with is between the ages of 30 and 40. There you go. You should write a fucking book. 7 is no. You guys are crazy. Christine, can confirm. Thank you. Yeah. You just want a woman that's between 30 and 40 who trusts the shit out of you. There's no. I don't believe you. You guys aren't. No. You guys aren't being honest with yourselves. You know what you guys do. Get all the fucking. What is it? Tap your head and rub your stomach at the same time. I know all that shit you do. No, there's never been a load has never been fired in the podcast studio. Nope. No. Here's the thing. Here's why you're not being honest, because between 5 and 12, you don't even remember. That's why I'm not saying you're not lying on purpose. You just don't remember. Oh shit, Lucy's failing reps. Well, the rest of us are getting diddled. Damn, I was just going to pull up something cool too. Let me see what's going on here. Be friendly. Be friendly about to pass 6,000 subscribers. Is that her who just finished? Oh no, Lucy Campbell right in the front. Oh, she just finished. She's tripping. Oh, Lisa Fuliano just gave her a high five. Fuliano got a nose ventilator opener. Fuck, these chicks are thick. 2,000 people watching. Holy shit. Oh, he just went over 6,000 subscribers. Congratulations. Wow. Judge busted for allegedly helping illegal migrant evade ICE. Was once a finalist for most trusted public officer. Did you guys see? You guys have to have seen this story, right? A Wisconsin judge, of course it's Wisconsin, busted for allegedly helping, not allegedly, helping illegal immigrants evade law enforcement. Was once a finalist for most trusted public official. She now faces up to 10 years behind bars. This is her. This story is fucking nuts. Oh, wait. We go back to orgasms. Sevi's currently having 12 simultaneous conversations. That's correct. 7th in the heat. How many points per place? Oh, if she does, God, you're a fucking genius. That's the smartest thing said on the podcast right there. Matthew, if she doesn't have one before you start, you fucked up. Yeah. You're so smart. Hey, and you know what that is? That's like a free out too, in case you get a whoops, right, Matthew? In case you 2-pump chumper. Yeah, that's solid advice. Hey, Joe, what's up?
Sevi,
Oh,
are we talking about threesomes or what?
I don't know. I think it needs to, I don't know. Every time I start to try to talk about it, I feel too vulnerable. I'm like, I don't know if I should talk about this.
Is it because I've made you trans curious?
No, not because of that. It's just because like I have a wife. I'm 53. I probably shouldn't be like I shouldn't be like dipping back into my wealth of knowledge. How old are you?
35.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't be dipping into my into my into my wealth of knowledge that maybe I should just write a book. I don't want anyone to think
Well,
it's
you
like,
look so good. Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed 53.
please don't sweet talk me. What if I get aroused?
Oh, that's your thing to deal with. You know, I'm a little far away. Are you coming to visit me in Laguna Beach? Are we gonna have dinner or something?
No, dude, I don't leave my house. But
That's sad.
I'm gonna go to Syndicate and I'm gonna go to NorCal Classic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Syndicate said that's the one in Knoxville, right?
Yeah. Hey, I had a question for you. So you
Yeah.
are on like a pretty hardcore tour right now.
Yeah, I did like 50 or something pieces of media. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're doing great, by the way. All your ups are great. You present fucking amazing. But are do trying to figure out how to word this because it's going to have so many presuppositions in it. Feel free to unfuck me if I'm wrong, but are the liberals trying to hold you up as some sort of like, do they know how open-minded you truly are and what a critical think you are? Because I feel like, your story is a valuable story for them because they're like, how dare you fucking say anything about trans people? And you're really like, hey, I think yours is even bigger picture than that. It has nothing to do with whether you're trans or not. It's like, hey, motherfucker, you said something about me that was completely untrue around my death and a failure of operating as a high level soldier.
Yeah, so like there's a couple of things. So I don't feel the pressure from liberals yet, but I am starting to get a little pushback from folks in the trans community just because they're so scared of giving an inch for fear of losing the mile. And I keep saying things that are true, but have been weaponized in the past. So I'm trying to walk that line while still being authentic. But the other issue is that my story has not had any interest from right-wing media. My closest, which Brett Weinstein is not right-wing, he's actually a liberal,
Right.
but he has more center-right audience, right? And I cannot find people that are interested in my story. And here I am. I came from a conservative, homeschooled religious background, and I'm speaking common sense, the way I feel about the trans debate. And I can't get a Fox News to be interested. And I would gladly go on any right wing media and talk just like we talk. Like I really have no, issues with that, but it doesn't fit their narrative either. So I'm finding that because I'm in the middle
That's
and
fucking
because I'm
that's
not
annoying.
speaking the far left, it is like I don't have the talking points of either side. And so it's hard to get platformed. So I just hang out with you, Sevi, and we just talk CrossFit and threesomes and have a good time.
Hey, let me ask you about the. Thank you. It is fun. What about What about the trans that are usually in the right wing media? Those men don't look like women, and those women don't look like men. But you look like a woman.
You mean like the poor examples? Is that what you're talking about?
I don't know. It's kind of like
Because Caitlyn Jenner is right wing now. She gets platformed by the right wing.
yeah, and she doesn't look like a woman. You look way more like a woman than she does.
Well, she transitioned at like 50 something. She was an elite athlete. So like
like no one knows, right? No, when you go out, no one knows, right? Like people, like my kids will stare. Like there's a guy who's in a pink dress, at the coffee shop right next to the jiu-jitsu studio, and my kids stare because they see us as a man in a dress, right? It's like seeing someone with Down syndrome or a
I
dwarf or
stare
something,
too.
right?
No, I
no
stare
one,
too.
but no one stares at you, right? Like they can't tell.
Well, I'm 6'1", and I'm built
Oh.
like someone who does some CrossFit. So
Right.
I get those looks because 6'1" women, non-trans women, I'm saying women who are tall like me,
Yeah.
also get stared at, right? Like, so I do, but I do carry myself differently. I'm not, like I said, it's not my personality. So I'm not going out into the world like strutting my transness in front of people. I'm just me living my life how I used to,
Right.
in just a way that's much more comfortable for me. And it's just, like I get respect and like, yeah, I have this voice, but when I'm out and about, no one looks jarred by the voice. They just talk to me because I'm talking to them like we're all human.
Yeah. I almost opened up the threesome conversation, but then I shut it down again. My editor is strong today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's all right. But no, I like Laguna Beach. I'll be speaking at like a queer foundation because they're helping fund my lawsuit, right? So like I there are certain things on the left that are supportive of me, which is great. But I was very clear that I'm coming from a more conservative background, and I do feel differently on some of these issues. And I think some people are finding it refreshing, right? So like if we're saying we, as in the trans community, is losing the trans debate, then you have to change your messaging. And I'm bringing a different message, which is let's not advocate for all or nothing. Let's find some common ground that makes sense, that protects women and their spaces, but also protects trans women and trans men, and also protects youth sports, and it also protects the vulnerable children. Like there's a way to make this work that isn't so extreme. But right now, the way politics and your sports teams are, is they don't give in. They just get embittered into their corners, and they won't have open discussions, which is why I love Joe Rogan's podcast so much. He'll just have people on for like 3 hours and they can talk themselves out of their talking points and actually just start being real people by the end of it.
Christine Young, yes, my daughter's 5'11" and people look at her weird. She's in Laguna Niguel. Oh, and then Garrett,
wow, yeah.
and Garrett's over 6 feet tall. Garrett Glinton.
Yeah, there's definitely tall. Yeah, there's definitely tall people out there of both sexes, but
they stare. But people do, and I've heard Garrett say people stare at her. I mean, with Garrett though, she nothing about her looks normal. You know what I mean? She's well,
just tall people in general. Like if you stand out, so when I went to Amsterdam, I fit in really well because I was with a bunch of tall white people of both sexes. Like I didn't stick out nearly as much as I do in the States, or if I were to go to Tokyo, for example, I would really stick out. And tall women tend to stick out, and they tend to get stared at. Like men are very fascinated by tall women in general. And then I never know if they're staring at me because I'm tall, or because they think I'm trans, or they know I'm trans, or now, unfortunately, they saw me on the news, right? Like I've had people recognize me in public now.
No one ever stares at me. I've never caught anyone staring at me. Ever. 52 years. No one.
I mean, I stare at you in these chats.
Oh, well, that's good.
There's nothing else to look at, so.
All right. Thank you. Stay in touch.
Yep.
Bye.
Yep.
You can't crack the threesome conversation. So this lady, Judge Hannah Dugan. I mean, look at her. She had an illegal alien, Judge Hannah Dugan in Wisconsin. She had an illegal alien in her courthouse. I want to say maybe he was even deported once in 2013 and snuck back in. Look at this lady. She had this guy in the courtroom, Eduardo Flores Ruiz. He illegally entered the U.S. in 2013 and was deported. Then he was back in the country illegally, and he got into a fight with someone and punched someone 30 times. He beat up a man and a woman, a couple, who were complaining about his music being too loud. And while the case is going on, he's in there, this illegal alien who's already been deported once, and then the couple's in there that he beat up. And that judge, that fat blob of a judge, Jabba the Hutt looking bitch, she hears that ICE is outside. So she stops the court case. She stops the trial, tells the lawyer and Eduardo, come into my private quarters where the public's not allowed, and tries to sneak him out the back door. Nuts. Welcome to America. Where's David when you need him? The other judge that got arrested is even crazier. The other judge had one of those Tren de Aragua guys staying at his house. And the judge, I don't know if you heard about that. That happened within 24 hours. 2 judges got arrested for harboring illegals. Andrew had one of these, so I bought one too. I want to be like Andrew. Andrew bought all these grippers, captain of crushed grippers. By the way, if you're going to buy these, you do not need the whole set. The chances are your grip strength is not nearly as strong as mine, and I can only close this is the 1, and I think I can close the 1.5. Oh wait, no, this is the trainer. This is the 1 right here. Oh, I didn't close it, but very close. And then there's a 1.5. Yeah, there's the 1. I can close the 1, and that's it. Maybe I can't close the 1.5. So if you get these, you need the S and the T and the 1. And maybe the 1.5. There's no fucking way there's no way even half of you have stronger hands as my hands are crazy strong. Could hold a handful of dicks in this hand. They couldn't get away from me. But then Andrew bought this thing. And like you squeeze it and then let go, and it tells you how much pound pressure you put on the machine. See that? It's what brand is it? It's called the Handexer. I can put a link to it in the show. The Handexer. It was cheap. Maybe it was $29. Sevon has finger power like a lesbian. That's probably true. And then so you can hold this and then squeeze it, and it will measure your strength. It's claiming I have 110 pounds of pressure. I don't think 110 is weak. Oh, 85 is weak. I don't even think 85 is weak. I think for my age, it said 70 is strong. So anyway, you can fuck with this thing. It's kind of cool. But if you're going to get this, you should have some grippers. Oh, one hand only. I think my record actually, Matthew, is with one hand. I think my record is with one hand. Last night I squeezed it like fucking so many times. I think my record is I want to say 139 or something with one hand. Kind of cool, right? There you go. 111. Hey, everyone be chill. It's fucking 8:45 in the morning. I'm just warming this thing up. I think Hunter McIntyre got 171. I think this dial makes it so you can change it for the size of your hand. I think Avi squeezed it yesterday and got a 50. Do you have one of these, Matthew? Anyway, it's cool. And you could change the units. If you're European, you could switch it to kg. I shouldn't be doing max lifts without warming up. Oh my. All right. I think I'm done. Any news on the event? Anyone want to break any news on the? Let me see. I see the men are going now. I'm guessing the women are done. They got a dude on the mic who looks like a porn star from the 70s. One more thing? You want to do one more thing? You want to hear about the dumb shit they lie about Trump? David Weed, Roman just slipped in the toilet and broke his wrist. Oh, and he's out. Just like that. Bam, he's out. Okay. The Vatican asked Pope Francis funeral attendees to wear all black. Trump wore a blue suit. So if you Google this, you will find 50 articles talking about this. But it's not true. There was no dress code for the Pope's funeral. And notice the way they cropped this picture. See how they cropped it so he's just with people in black suits? With all the World Economic Forum fucking members. Look at this dude hanging with his leg hanging out on the aisle. All you have to do is find another picture. All you have to do is find another picture of a wide shot, and you'll see 20% of the people aren't in all black. One viral X post referred to him as an embarrassment for his choice, while another called him disrespectful. That's like Shawnee getting upset because I called him Shawnee instead of Sean, if that's true. Like, really? Someone died? Lazarus' memorial wasn't long enough. It was only 1 minute. It wasn't cool enough for him. He deserved more. Hey, fuckwad, the entire CrossFit Games was a memorial. It wasn't enough. It's fucking crazy that people say that shit. Imagine arguing over the amount of fucking silence someone got after their death. Well, that wasn't enough. Why? What were you doing during that moment of silence that was so important? Yeah, no, it's not true. So many politicians were wearing blue. I know. We live with sissies and morons. Attendees wore what they considered to be appropriate attire for such a solemn occasion, Vatican sources says. There was no dress code. The Vatican does not list a funeral dress code on its website. The Vatican told People magazine that attire for April 26th ceremony was left up to the individual. I guess it's the same people who were like criticizing. It's the same kind of idiots that were criticizing Zelensky for what he wore to the White House. Like, hey, dude, just let people wear what they fucking want. Joe, when I want to be buried face down so my friends can have a cold one. Oh, Joe, do you know that joke? Why did they bury Liberace face down so his friends could have a cold one? Storm. He was asked to wear a suit in that instance. All right. Tomorrow, do we have any guests tomorrow? Let me see what's going on next. Oh, no guest tomorrow. No guest Tuesday. I think I'm taking Tuesday off. What do you guys think about that? Wednesday, Glassman. Great Greg Glassman. And then it's May. I need to get some guests. I don't have any guests. Oh, I have someone from BirthFit coming on Friday. Oh, that'll be fun. That whole BirthFit thing was crazy. Did anyone watch that go down? The lady from BirthFit, Lindsay Cantu, she made a post about Paige Powers. She didn't mention Paige by name, and she covered Paige's face, but she made a comment saying like, hey, I read the post as like, yo, this is not the fucking norm to be at the premier semifinal fitness competition in the world 2 months after you had your baby. Please do not take this as the norm. And people lost their fucking mind. People lost their fucking mind. Yeah, with Paige Powers. I think even Paige got a little defensive. Hey, don't worry about it. Do you? I do think it's fucking batshit crazy to enter a fitness competition 2 months after you fucking had a baby. Probably your pussy and the insides don't. That's probably not the best way to get longevity out of them. Like the pussy and all the shit that's attached to it. Probably not a good idea. But was I impressed that she did it? Very much so. Is she super high profile? Very much so. Might other people try to attempt it? Yes. Is it equivalent to eating Tide Pods? No. Is Lindsay Cantu a specialist in pussies pre, during, and post fucking baby having? Yes. Should she be allowed to weigh in? 100%. Should Paige be proud of her accomplishments? For sure. I have my strong opinions on it too. But if a guy jumps off a fucking cliff in a squirrel suit for the first time, and someone who's done it 100 times and lost half of his friends in squirrel suit death jumping wants to comment on it, yeah, he gets to. I don't know this for a fact, but I assume that Paige Powers thinks of birthing as a medical procedure. We're sitting on the complete opposite end of the spectrum. Lindsay Cantu of BirthFit sees birthing as a biological processes. You would see how they're going to have different perspectives. You don't got to be a fucking genius for that. Big difference between biological processes and medical procedure. They're obviously going to have different perspectives. The argument, the argument from Paige might be like, hey, I took it easy. I know my body. And listen, there's pregnant women all over Africa who have babies and 2 days later have to walk 10 miles with a 40-pound bucket of water on their head. And Lindsay might be like, okay, I like that. But to fucking take offense by someone worrying about fucking women going fucking hard after they had their fucking insides fucking stretched out to the max for fucking 9 months and then blow a fucking 10-pound sack of flesh out their twat, fucking, you're fucking insane. I don't know if Paige cared. I did see a post where Paige did seem like she did care. I have really strong opinions about Tia Toomey breastfeeding while doing a fucking Monster Energy drink commercial. Like real strong. It's not as dumb as putting your kid behind a chain link fence for 8 hours a day. But it's tied with it. Drinking caffeine while you're pregnant, pretty stupid. Pretty stupid. Altering your entire kid's fucking life. And their interaction with the world in their most formative years. And you're chugging fucking Monster Energy drink and breastfeeding. Okay. I see how you would be brainwashed into thinking that giving birth is a medical procedure. I fully get it. I thought it was. But for me, all I needed someone to say is, well, hey, it happened for billions of fucking years with billions of people being born and it's not a medical procedure. How do you think every single living organism on the planet got here? It got blown out through a pussy or an egg. Yeah, you shouldn't be drinking Fit Aid. You shouldn't be, listen, you drink water when you're pregnant. That's it. Clean water. Oh, geez. You're an elementary school teacher? God, I hope it's in the fucking hood. You go dressed like that? Men should not be elementary school teachers. They better be in the hood. Or you better be doing PE. Sevon, would you be homeschooling if you still worked for CrossFit? Holy shit, that's a good question. I've thought about that. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Yes and yes. Oh, good. Yeah. All right. All right. I'll see you guys later. Thank you. I had fun this morning. If I offended anyone, spend the rest of the day and work your way through it. Oh, that's my boy, Pussy Maurice. That's my boy, Pussy. Can wait? Who said that? Oh, gee. Oy. I'm trying to hold back the hate. Oh, that's nice. Haley, that's really nice. Wow. Haley made a loaf of bread. She sent me a picture of it. It looks small, but it looks good. That's beautiful. Joe, thanks for calling in. Thanks, everyone. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.